Well, here we are at DesignCon. Welcome, Indu.
Thank you.
How did you ever get the name AEye as a company?
Just because we have AI-driven sensing and intelligent sensor, AI was just the name to use for like our
It's AEye.
Exactly, that's the key point there. Just like how human brain interacts with eyes, we have AI added into a sensor to exactly mimic the way eyes work, along with the interaction with the brain into our system. So just
Did people identify how brilliant that was as a name?
I think so. It seems to have stuck and it's really going good.
So you presented this morning and you showed a live demo. Tell me about the live demo. We saw a lot of code on the screen, and it was obviously a car driving around California.
Right.
Can you describe that?
Absolutely. So we had a sensor Foresight M product that we have for selling in the market, and it's basically that Foresight M mounted on a car at about 1.8 meters, and it's driving on the highways and on the local market
with
a driver, of course, and it's and we're basically visualizing what the sensor is feeding back into a perception engine. So you're seeing that point cloud data as an AI system would see it while you're driving on a highway, and how it sees a car and how it sees different other factors, and how the sensor can adapt according to different scenes, whether be it your speed that you're driving at or the use case that you are trying to solve here. So first you saw how the highway scene, where generally when you're driving, human eyes concentrate in the horizon and try to get that information from the horizon, and in the highway scan pattern that was shown in the demo, it was concentrating on very long range, 400 meters and beyond, getting those detection on cars and small objects on the road and traffic signs, which is very important for highway pilot.
But the data that I saw, that I was watching on your screen,
yep.
A human couldn't really use that.
Right, so what we saw on the screen today was LiDAR point cloud data. So this gets fed into perception system that would then do feature extraction, and they have all the points to make classification of what object it is. So the idea is to feed this into AI-based systems later on, which then does the classification, etc. So the AI intelligence in the sensor is trying to get all the pertinent information to these like AI that's running on the other autonomous vehicles, right, to make it much more intelligent.
So all of these companies that are doing this sort of thing with sensors and LiDAR and cameras and everything, all sitting ugly on top of cars, eventually that gets worked inside a car?
Absolutely. So for all ADAS or the big OEMs that we see today, they work on having these. So your cars today have radar, right? But do you see them in your cars? No. So similarly, the LiDARs, because of our unique architecture, everything, we can have it behind the windshield or in your grille, which you don't even see behind the grille.
So when is that?
It's going to be very soon.
What's soon?
2024 and beyond, you will start seeing rollout of our LiDAR systems and other LiDAR systems into the market for level 2 plus and level 3 capabilities.
So you talked about level 1 through 3 and then 4 and 5, obviously.
Yep.
Where are we going in terms of market? There's either driver assist, which is one stream, and then there's fully autonomous driving. Where are those two streams?
So these are all different steps towards autonomy, the way the market is looking at it. So we have driver assist systems already in our cars today. We have definitely ACCs where you can take your feet off, and then we have, in certain cases, we are working towards highway pilots, which is for like 2024 timeframe, where we can take your hands off for a certain period of time. That's the L3 capability. So the ADAS system or the assist systems are slowly paving way for these autonomous driving capabilities, where you're taking your hands off as well. And then slowly we are seeing small geofence areas and food delivery systems, especially during the pandemic. You see food delivery robots, etc., in our geofence areas where they're trying to do L4 capabilities at this point.
So the obvious question that cynics have, based on the AAA research and so forth, consumers certainly are not asking for autonomous cars. Why is the entire industry, the mass movement towards full autonomy? Why is that?
There is definitely interest in people to buy autonomous driving features. And another key factor is that OEMs have started to realize the subscription model for the software can add to their revenue model a little bit more than what you could get from a regular regular car at this point of time. And as some of the polls have come out, people are starting to enjoy these kind of features in their car. For example, Super Cruise, when it was introduced, there was a take rate of 90% for it. People really like that they have sensing capabilities or having some levels of autonomy.
So it's about the feature, that's driver assist now, still.
It is still driver assist, yes.
So is that where you see the benefit for the foreseeable future?
For foreseeable future, at least for a couple of years, the assist is what is going to be there in cars that you and me drive. And in some sections, for example, trucking, where hub to hub, where it's doing deliveries, etc., you will start seeing, as regulations become more available to it, that these kind of hub to hub kind of deliveries also having autonomous driving. And then future, about like 2025 and beyond, that's when you see more of a hands-off kind of capability.
So what happens with your technology? I mean, eventually it should be done?
Well, it's always a progression with any technology, right? So initially when you had radar systems or any silicon, actually silicon also went through such a huge turnaround in how technology went. So as we advance, the AI technology will also improve, and it'll work with feedback loops with other AI systems, and there's so much to learn and also work together, and there is so much capability that's untapped into this at this point.
So is this all about AI, or is it about connected cars, or where does this fall?
It all falls together. This becomes one connected world at the end of the day, where the sensors are talking to each other, and just like how humans would interact with each other when you're on the intersections, where you're looking at the cues from the eyes of pedestrians trying to take a turn or not, similarly these robots are going to talk to each other. So sensors having that ability to get the cues from other sensors and other intelligent smart systems in the scene, that they're going to take that and work together to make it much more safer and easier to interact, especially in heavy weather conditions, etc.
So we're here at a live show.
Yeah.
First time in a long time. Is
Yes.
this your first time back in a live in person?
It is my first time. It's so exciting to be back here after, I think, about 1.5 to 2 years now since we had a live event, and so good to have human interaction and
you had a great crowd at your talk.
Thank you. Yes, it was really good, and happy to see people are interested in this and trying to see what's happening in autonomous driving space.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure.